The Catholic Morning Show.
So great to have you with us, friends. If you know one thing about this station, hopefully, well, if it's one thing, Catholic Morning Show, that we're here for you. If you know another thing, though, it's that we've been broadcasting Dowling football for 50 years. Yeah, we can talk about how the math adds up because since we've been here for 21, but we know the guy who can clear it all up for us. You hear him every morning with the sports update. Mark Amadeo, thanks for coming on the Catholic Morning Show.
Good morning, Bo. Glad to be here. Deacon Mark, always good to see you. This guy, he has more appearances, Bo, at the state fair than anybody that I know.
I know. He is the sort of unofficial field marshal of the state fair. Look, Mark, of course, people get to hear you every morning. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in the world of sports, but every Friday, when there is a Dowling football game during the fall, they hear your voice as well. So give us a bit of that background, not only about how you got it started, telling us, calling football for us for the station, but even what was happening before you got here.
Yeah, it is year number 50 for Iowa Catholic Radio, and as Deacon Mark alluded to, KWKY 1150, which we switched about a year ago off of, and now 105.5 is the flagship. But I understand we're up in Clear Lake sometimes for high school football and basketball.
Yes, we are.
I was vacationing up there a few weeks ago, and I heard people say, "Hey, I recognize your voice." But so yeah, year 50 for this station broadcasting Dowling football. Started by Deacon Chuck Dupree, late deacon, who had the station. The guy came up to him and said, "Hey, I'd like to start Dowling football," and the guy did it for about 5 years. We were beating a lot of teams one-handed, and he kind of got bored with it. And then the athletic director at Dowling called me and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, going to college." He said, "We're looking for somebody to do the games next year." And so I started out doing color and moved over to play-by-play, and here it is, year 45 for me and year 50 for the station. It's been a great blessing, great ride. A lot of runner-up finishes, Bo. We were 7 times a bridesmaid, and then finally broke through in 2000, and I was glad to be part of that, and here we are. So working with the Dowling coaching staffs and 4 coaches, and it's been great. It's been a great ride. Hope folks tune in, and we'll be on 1 week from tonight. Dowling Valley, what a way to get things started. The Battle of West Des Moines, Deacon.
Well, it's always a big rivalry. Of course, every Friday night's a big night in and around the state of Iowa. His people in Iowa love their high school sports, love high school football. Let's talk a little bit about this year's team. You are somebody who does a lot of homework to get things ready. I know they had a scrimmage yesterday. You have a pulse on who's coming back, who's graduated, what holes there's going to be. What can fans expect when they tune in this season?
You can expect a very good offense and defensive line out of Dowling. They were stout. Now, they scrimmaged Waukee Northwest, who was predicted to be in the finals last year, came up a game short, and they have everybody back, a quarterback that had not thrown an interception, and he played pretty well. But Dowling's defense looks pretty good right now. Offensively, all their skills are graduated. Receivers, running back, quarterback, but their offensive line is very stout. They have 3 Division I players on that offensive line, and they'll all be back next year, by the way. So
wow.
They're just juniors. So we'll see how the unknowns, so to speak, come through. They had 3 quarterbacks go through, about 3 running backs, so everybody's auditioning, and I'm sure they'll all play Friday night. So I don't have a 2 deep, Deacon. I've got like a 4 deep because that's what you kind of need in weeks 1 and 2.
Well, the idea of season to season and how they're either reloading or just going back out again. It sounds like next year is going to be they're well positioned, right?
Correct.
But as you've watched the program over 45 years, the complement between education and athletics. What is the thing that you have enjoyed the most over the course of 45 years of having that bird's eye view of everything that's taken place?
Well, folks who haven't tuned in on a Friday night to listen to football, we talk about Dowling and what's going on in the school. A lot of things going on, different activities and such. But interviewing the kids, 1992. The year my son was born, we instituted the sideline report, and we were one of 2 stations in the state that had it. So we set it up, and it was interesting how we got it done, and we've been doing it ever since. Interviewing those young men who are some of them are straight A students, 4-point plus students, talk about their academics, talk about their position coach, talking about being part of Dowling High School and the Catholic community. I really enjoy the postgame show with those interviews with those young men and talking about all the other activities. It's been a great blessing, Mark.
Well, I'm always amazed, as I've listened throughout the years, how articulate those young men are. Getting the first time having maybe a camera shoved in front of their face, but they're always able to bring out, provide an answer that reflects team first, but also the importance of, student life, not just what takes place on the field, but all the wonderful things that go on at Dowling Catholic High School. Who are some people that that listeners are going to become familiar with maybe this season in those post-game interviews?
Well, it'll be a lot of the captains, and one of my favorite. This is the last Hagen brother to go through, and he'll be a defensive lineman that starts, and his brothers wrestled at Grandview. But Brady Hagen's one of my favorites, and he is talk about well articulate. He could give Bo and Bud Marr a run on their show. This guy can debate.
There's an interview guest for you, Bo.
That's right.
Put him on the list.
I'll set it up.
We'll wait till after the football season. We want to make sure he's
focused.
fresh.
Wait a second. Make sure you both are ready.
Yeah, that's right.
Brady.
We're going to prep some more, yeah.
Brady Hagen is one of my favorites, and then you look at the seniors and what they've done and the off-season work that they put in. There's construction going on at Dowling. I could attest to that yesterday, waiting in line for 15, 20 minutes just to get in the parking lot. That's going to happen, but I'll tell you what, it's something just seeing everybody come together, the workouts, and I'm going through last year's. This guy put on 25 pounds. This guy put on 30 pounds.
Wow!
And they're not just fat; it's strength,
right.
And you can tell, and that's the kind of commitment that the program has.
Well, we're speaking with Mark Amadeo about 50 years of broadcasting Dowling football, 45 years for you, as you've said. Now, not to make anyone feel old or young or indifferent, but 45 years ago, another event happened. I was born. So I know that you started in 1981. So what I want to ask, Mark, is can you give people a little bit of we have digital connections. We have all these ways in which the sort of technology makes high school broadcasts sound, crystalline and very great. What was it like in 1981? What did it consist of to get on air on the radio in 1981 for a football game?
Well, we had this thing called a phone line.
Nice.
And we had phone jacks, and sometimes in the press boxes they worked, and sometimes they didn't. So that was kind of an excursion. Usually when you're at home, you're pretty safe. It's going on the road was a little difficult. Now we're a lot more internet-based with Ethernet lines and such, but the clarity now is much better, and our thanks to our folks around Iowa Catholic Radio. Greg Richwine does a great job helping me prepare. Matter of fact, I got the suitcase. I just picked it up. I picked it up in August and returned in March after basketball, Bo. So I'm doing my annual pilgrimage here to get that. But so, yeah, it was phone lines, and now it's cell phones. If we don't have internet connection, we'll use a cell phone. But that's a big change, and I hope it sounds good.
It sounds wonderful. And, if you think about the graduation, not only from your in 1981 to now, but just how the football and high school sports works, could you imagine all the way back then that the sort of intensity, the involvement of high school sports would look like it does now?
Boy, it's so much more of a commitment based. I mean, I know we had it when I was going through, but now it's 12 months out of the year. The kids are training. The smaller schools are out for every sport. You name it, they're out. So the training is very limited. They have to train during their season because they're going from one to the other. Specialized sports has become a little bit more prevalent, but a lot of these kids, I'll see them on the basketball roster. I'll see them on the wrestling rosters. And that's for all of our opponents here in Central Iowa, because Central Iowa Metro League, pretty tough conference. It's nice going to state tournament and six teams you saw during the regular season, and the other two are from out of town. So it's a very tough, competitive league with great coaching. And Tom Wilson's one of the best at Dowling, but he's going to go against the leader in wins, and Gary Swinson at Valley this Friday night. So two quality class individuals that run great programs.
Well, Mark, as we kind of wrap up our conversation about this upcoming season, let's take one more look back. And a player that comes to mind that came through Dowling's, Ross Verba, who had a long NFL career. Were there any players, and maybe Ross was one of those, but any players that have gone on to great success in their professional career that you identified early on? It was like that kid.
It was Mark Amadeo.
That kid's going somewhere.
Can I take a shift at the State Fair with that question? I'll just go out there and just take a shift with Bo at the State Fair. That's a tough question. There's been a lot of kids that have went on. I mean, I can think of Amara Darbo, Matthew Hawk, who just got cut by the Washington
Commanders.
The Commanders, yeah, he just got cut. But so there's a lot of Dowling kids that have moved on to the next level. Ross Verba, that goes back. He was in my sister's class back in the 90s. So, yeah, there's been quite a few. But in high school, you just want to see him do well in college.
Yeah. Because
I've seen some that had all the accolades in high school, had a great career at Dowling, state champion, and then they don't even start in college. So it's really hard to pinpoint it.
It does kind of just speak to the again the competitive world that we live in, and how it is so hard to reach that next level.
It is.
Dowling has had a number of tremendous athletes come through. And you've had the privilege, again, for 45 years to watch their development from freshman year on through their senior year, and then some on into college and even the pros. So maybe some last thoughts on what it's meant these last 45 years to be the voice and somebody who is synonymous with Iowa Catholic Radio.
Well, it's been a privilege, first of all, and thanks for having me again. I'm year to year, Bo, believe me, and they've all said yes for the last 45, so I'm year to year with this position.
That's right. There is, I haven't told you this, Mark, but there's actually a line of people who said, when Mark ever wants to hang it up, call me.
Well, one's over there, probably Bo Bonner and Bud Marr.
No. Who would want to try to follow in your footsteps?
But, it's been a labor of love. You work a full-time job, and all of a sudden you have this on Friday nights. Matt Mandring, the principal at Dowling, is my color guy. He's a former coach at Sheldon, Iowa, before he came to Dowling, so he does a pretty good job describing the nuts and bolts. This guy here, Deacon Mark, did a pretty good job during baseball with Joe Stacy this year. I heard a lot of good things about him. We may pull him up.
Nice.
And then I have my sideline reporter, which I told you we've had since the 90s. We'll have Brian Morris and Johnny Chido help me out in the sidelines.
Well, okay, we're getting ready to go. It's been wonderful to talk, but just let folks know about. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick. I want to thank you, Mark. You do a tremendous job, and we have a couple of sponsorships still available for broadcasts of Dowling Catholic High School sports. Reach out to Mike at iowacatholicradio.com if you are interested in learning about how you can be a part of our broadcast of Dowling Catholic High School sports. So next Friday night, what's the pregame? Is at what time and kickoff and all the details?
Pregame will be right before 6:30, probably 6:20 because it's opening night, and then 7 o'clock kickoff unless weather changes stuff. They can move the kickoff at 7 o'clock. We'll do that every Friday, and thank you both for having me in the studio.
Absolutely. 50 years of broadcasting Dowling football, 45 with this guy. Mark Amadeo, thank you for coming on the Catholic Morning Show.
Listen to the Catholic Morning Show weekdays at 7 a.m. Central on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, iowacatholicradio.com, or the Iowa Catholic Radio app.
What legacy would you like to leave? As part of the Legacy Society, your gift supports the future of the Iowa Catholic Radio Network. By participating in the planned giving process, you can be assured that when you leave this earth, your charitable gift will continue to support this apostolate and its mission of connecting people to Christ. If you're interested in including Iowa Catholic Radio as part of your charitable gift planning, call me, Belle Marasco, at 515-223-1150. Thank you for your prayerful support.